Oh, boy. 2 girls matches in a row and another one still left to come, which again, and they couldn't even break it up a little bit. This is why nothing is special, because as soon as something gets over, they give it to you endlessly. 2 elimination chambers, 2 world championships, 3 girls matches on the same show, back to back. Nothing is allowed to become different. But in this case, it was definitely different because they took the most inexperienced worker out of the 4 of these and decided to tie her arm behind her back. So, boy, that'll... This is another example of what happens when you get a bunch of people writing wrestling that have never been in a ring, and the people that have been in the ring have to produce what the wrestling writers write. Instead, if you've been reading the writs he's written, you'll know they're really well-written writs. So, Charlotte and Cruella against Naomi and Ronda Rousey. And again, I love Ronda Rousey coming out in the gi, in the karate gi, martial arts flavor, right?
No monster makeup.
Well, no makeup at all. I don't know why that she does the weird eye makeup thing, which makes her look more like, who was it? Simone Signoret and Revenge of the Cat People or whatever. I love the karate gi, but no makeup, smiling and happy, makes her look like a cute little teenager. Like I said earlier, just fucking woke up late at a slumber party instead of the baddest bitch on the planet.
Did you see, forgive me for cutting off, there was some interview I just saw, I didn't actually read the whole thing or even hear it, but the headline in various places I saw, maybe you read it, that Ronda said Vince told her to smile more. To embrace how happy she was and go out there and smile.
I bet you he did. Cause here's the thing, Vince McMahon, if he's watched Ronda Rousey in a UFC fight or a mixed martial arts fight, it was that somebody at the studio said, "Here, why?" And he watched 2 minutes of it. But I can believe that because I've heard him do that to other baby faces before, but not somebody whose whole fucking presence was that she came out like she was in another world and was going to fucking kill somebody because it was a real fight. Anyway, I like the gi. I don't like the no makeup and no hairstyle to please the regressive sexual Neanderthals in Saudi Arabia. And I don't like the smiling and the happy because, as I said again, it just makes her like she's a cute girl, not the baddest bitch on the planet. And then, she gets in the ring and they do the deal where they tie her arm. They got the little waist gimmick there and they tie her arm behind her back. And then Cruella takes the sling off and throws it away because it was a heel plot, a ploy. And Ronda doesn't sell it. She's like, okay, the stipulations only matter to someone else that's not involved but watching if they matter to the people that are involved. So if it's positive or negative that you're supposed to feel about something, you need to register that. But again, Ronda's green, but who's going over this shit? And is she just disregarding or forgetting or not being told? Or this is the way it is? And again, subliminally, why do you want to take somebody whose last 2 public performances, the Royal Rumble, they let her, as we said, wander around. She's not an experienced worker. She doesn't know how to stay busy and ad lib and still keep her aura. She had to have things laid out for her. And in a single match or a tag team match, it's easier when you got multiple every girl for themselves matches, or you throw something else in her way, like tying her arm behind her back when she's not smooth and polished to begin with as far as working. So, like I said, in the Royal Rumble, she was left to fend for herself for a while in the Rumble. The head bonk spot at least didn't air on television, but people saw it on social media. Where was the other thing recently where she was left to just, she looks green. And if you keep making her, putting her in positions where she's going to look green, or she can't do the things that make her stand out, and she's not a veteran enough and experienced enough to bing, 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 it's not good. It's subliminally, people will remember these, especially in a short period of time, they'll remember these impressions, visual impressions, mental impressions that they've gotten of Ronda Rousey, and it diminishes even, you know, in your subconscious, it diminishes the way you feel about her, how anxious you are to see her do something. And Ronda Rousey was still beating Cruella up, you know, which is fine, because that we've established that Cruella is the, you know, WWE representative under Adam Pearce and is somewhat heelish, has a problem with Naomi. That's fine, except now I've seen Cruella wrestle. She's got a great look, Brian. A wonderful personality. But that's you know, Charlotte finally, she got on Ronda and got heat on her, but I'm like, what is happening? Ronda's not a great worker with two hands. Naomi's an exciting girl, and in the mid card, I don't see, you know, she was just in this because it was Cruella's issue for whatever reason. Charlotte didn't have a lot to do in this, but they got heat on Ronda, gave Naomi the comeback, and I was like, what the fuck? How? But then, no, wait. They stopped down and got heat on Naomi too. And then I wrote, why are they overstaying their welcome? Because this needed to be to make the point and leave, right? But yes, they wanted to give a Ronda Rousey a comeback, and they should have. That's why I was wondering why they got heat on her first. That's because apparently somebody thought Naomi should have a comeback too. And I would have sacrificed that one for the good of the fucking game. But anyway, so finally, there was a horrible cold tag to Ronda. And Naomi just kind of got up and staggered and there, but nobody else was trying to stop her. And Ronda had to make a rotten one-armed comeback because it's all, and it was her, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it was her right arm that was tied. And then finally, she gets an arm bar on Cruella anyway, still with the one arm. And Cruella obviously taps out, and Charlotte just says, fuck it, and walked out on it because she's mad that Cruella let her down. This was a waste of Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. And actually, it was a waste of Charlotte. It hurt Ronda Rousey because there's another thing that made her not only one of the girls, all the specials off, and now we've exposed her again that instead of letting her do what she does that all the people love, we're going to tie her arm and make her do some weird shit that she's definitely not experienced with. What'd you think?
I loved Ronda in the karate gi, and I'm certainly happy they didn't do the monster makeup, and I was okay with no makeup. The smiling, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, she's so happy that you forget what a mean and nasty ass kicker she is sometimes. Charlotte looked like a star. I like Naomi.
I liked her better with the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Well, she wasn't with the Flying Burrito. You're thinking of Graham Parsons. But, you know, it was fine for what it was. I mean, they don't know how to put together matches like this. If they had someone like you there who knew what to do with a bad gimmick that's been inserted into a match, perhaps they would be able to do something with it. But for what it was fine. And, you know, another step towards WrestleMania.
But they're wearing concrete overshoes.